Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So this video is for those of you who've kind of been following along on like the Chicago journey, or I guess those of you who like watch my videos because of that. As you know, we wanted to move again for reasons that I got into in past videos, so go watch those if you want to know the full story. But I will cover a little bit, like I'll summarize everything in this video. So I should probably just stop talking and get into the actual video. Okay, so we moved to Chicago in 2020, and we moved to like the uptown area, and it was good for the time being. It was a cheaper area, especially at the time because it was during COVID and like a lot of people were moving out of the city. But we had a few bones to pick with the apartment that we were living in, and we wanted to get to like a area that had a little bit more going on, or a little bit more stuff that we were personally interested in. So we ended up in 2021 moving to the Gold Coast area, and it was great. But then at the end of, well, I guess that would have been like mid 2022 when our lease ended, I wanted to get out of the city. Like up until that point, hadn't had a fantastic experience living in the city, and most of our family and friends are in Wisconsin anyway, so we spent a lot of time going up there. Because of my schooling, we still had to stay in the state of Illinois, but I was hoping to maybe just like move to like the border of Wisconsin, so it would be easier for us to travel back. But those plans kind of got rerouted a little bit because my boyfriend works right downtown, and at the time he was full remote, and then they started requiring him to go into the office like 2 to 3 days a week. So we needed to be close enough so that he was able to do that. So we kind of like compromised and moved to the Sheridan Park area, which is very close to uptown. I mean, it's pretty much the same area. This wasn't necessarily our first choice. We had a horrible time apartment hunting last time, and there is a video from last year if you're curious. But the compromise just like didn't really work well because neither of us were really happy. Like, I didn't want to live in this area, he didn't want to live in this area, and since now with the knowledge of like he needs to be closer to the office, we realized we kind of just need to move back downtown, at least for now, until like I graduate and he figures out like what career path I guess he wants to go down. So we started looking for apartments around March is when we like started looking on like Zillow and stuff like that. But we really didn't like seriously start considering tours or anything like that until May-ish. Our criteria, or I should say like more so my criteria, very much limited some of our options because I do have to work in like, I have 2 offices. One is near O'Hare and then one is in Waukegan. So I wanted to live somewhere with like easier access to the interstate because it is quite a long commute for me. And also I'm very picky about like the area that I physically live in, although like I like downtown to like go. Like when I say downtown, I kind of mean like the Loop. And I think it's fun to go there, but I do not want to live there, especially with like a vehicle and a car. I just like don't want to have to drive that far downtown. Plus it's like so loud and it just doesn't really give like the homey feel that I wanted. I really wanted an open concept kitchen because I like cooking, so I wanted like a good amount of kitchen space. And then we also would have like loved to have an unit laundry because not a lot of like downtown apartments do. Like they have like laundry rooms in the building, but nothing like in your specific unit. But I would say like the biggest deal breaker for me was just like the area. Like I really wanted to like the area because I realized since like living here again, like how much that matters. Because the first time that we lived in this area, it was like fine because it was during COVID, so we didn't really like go out that often anyway. But now it's just every time we want to do something, we have to take like a train ride downtown. It's like a 40-minute train ride, and it's just like not as convenient. I feel like you don't even get like the perks of living in the city. I mean, you do still, obviously, but like it's just different from being able to like walk down the street versus like 40-minute train ride. So in reality, we only really went on like 2 official tours. The rest of them were mainly just like either looking at pictures or getting like videos emailed to us. The market was really tough because apartments were going really fast, and also like the prices are sky high right now. And that was like another thing that really limited our options, was like the things that we wanted didn't really fit within the budget that we needed. But the first tour that we went on was like, that apartment I think was in like the Streeterville area, and I didn't love it. Like the building was just huge. I mean, it was ginormous, and there was so much in the building, which is like nice, but I don't know, like I just didn't get a homey feel. It was very like dark inside, like all the hallways, like dark decor, and like for some reason that just like does not do it for me. It did have like an open concept kitchen and in-unit laundry and stuff, but I just like knew I would not be happy in that area. So I was still like open to it, but I would say that was kind of like set on the back burner. But not too long after that, we pretty much narrowed it down to 2 different places. One of them actually being our old building, the one that we lived in Gold Coast last year. And then another one that was also in Gold Coast. So this other one was, the apartment itself, I would say, was like a lot nicer. Like it had an open concept kitchen, like good amount of storage space. It had like floor to ceiling windows in like the living room kitchen area. Just overall kind of like better layout and more space. Also the location was convenient for Damick, my boyfriend, because it was right across the street from the red line that he would have to jump on to work. And then it did have like nice amenities. It had like a big room you could rent out for like parties. It had a pool and like a nice deck area. So I was like really happy about it, and I was like, oh my gosh, I feel like this is like a good compromise between what we wanted. But the downsides of that one were that the price was pretty high. I mean, that unit was $2,448 a month, and that was just for base rent. That doesn't include like utilities, parking, again, because we kind of need that car for my work. And then the other thing was that in order to even get like that low of a price, you had to sign a 17-month lease, which I don't know, like I just thought that was weird. It would end in January, I guess, of 2025. So I don't know, it's just like not super convenient. And then like if we didn't like it, we were kind of stuck there for like 17 months. It was kind of weird. And then also like the management company wasn't as good. Like it wasn't like a bad management company, but it just seems like they don't care as much about the property. Like they're gonna do very basic, easy fixes as opposed to like investing in it. But that one was still kind of on the table. And then the other one we were comparing it to was our old building, our old apartment. And it's funny because the one that is available isn't our exact unit that we had, but it's only like a few floors up. And obviously like we know the building, we know the area. We like the view because you can see the lake and Navy Pier. You can see like the fireworks in the summer when they launch those off. So I really love that. Also the atmosphere of that area, and even just like the building in general, everyone is so nice and like welcoming. And then the price is less. So that unit was $2,219. Again, doesn't include like the utilities or parking. Also, I should mention neither of them had in-unit laundry, so that was kind of like a bummer. But they both have like the laundry rooms in the building. The main cons to that, like our old building, was that it does not have an open concept kitchen. If you guys have watched the past apartment tour, it's like a very closed off, like almost boxed in room for the kitchen. So there's not a lot of storage space or counter space. Also, the location is a bit further away from the train, the red line. It's like a 15-minute walk to get just to the train. And yeah, like there's just like less storage space in general, less like closet room. The bathroom's a little bit smaller. The one nice thing was that in our old unit we had all like white appliances, and this one is like updated with like the stainless steel, which is nice. So we were going back and forth for a while. Neither of us had like super strong opinions on which we would rather choose. Honestly, at one point we just like flipped a coin, and that's kind of how we made our decision. Not necessarily just based on that, but like I heard this thing where it's like, if you can't decide, flip a coin, and whatever the result is, that'll make your decision, because you'll either be like happy with the result or upset with the result. So ultimately we decided to move into the unit in our old building, mainly just because like we know we like it, and obviously the price was a little bit better. We've moved every year for like the past like 6-7 years, and it's just like tiring. Like I don't want to, I at least want to stay somewhere for like 2 years at this point. So that means like there's going to have to be a lot of changes, because the way that we had things organized last time that we lived there wasn't the greatest. Like it wasn't horrible, we could find everything, you know, we were happy, whatever, like that's what matters. But I think like now we've acquired more stuff since living in like a bigger apartment, and so it's also going to be a balance of like, what do we get rid of, like what do we actually need. But then I think we also just need to find better ways to store stuff, and even just like utilize different things as for other purposes. So it's definitely going to be a process, kind of like remodeling our setup and getting everything to, I guess, work, because like I said, I want it to be something that is good for a long time. We do expect to be in Chicago for at least the next like 3, maybe even 4 years. This could very well just be like the apartment that we stay in up until that point. But there's a lot of things up in the air. I would love, they do have open concept units, but like none of them were available with the view, because the view kind of was a big selling point for us. So I think maybe next year, if one with a view with an open concept opened up, we'd consider like moving into that one, because at least in that sense, like we wouldn't have to move very far. But yeah, that is kind of the update. That's just kind of also like gives you some insight on what the Chicago like apartment hunting scene is like right now. If you have any questions, put them in the comments below, and I will be filming a moving vlog. We're not moving until like the last weekend of August, or at least doesn't start until then. So I will be filming kind of like a moving vlog, and then eventually like an apartment tour once we get everything all set up. But because we're going to try to make it look like quite different from how it looked in the past. But again, that'll probably be down the line, because it'll take us a while to get everything organized. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see future videos, please hit that subscribe button below. And I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Bye.